So I got started with this particular bit of activism 4 years ago. A friend of mine sent me an email and said, do you know what they're doing in Weymouth? And I said, no, I have no clue. I actually live about 7 miles as the crow flies from here. So I live in Weymouth, but I live on the other side of town. But my sister-in-law lives in what they call the half-mile notification zone. So she's in the evacuation zone when there is an accident at this particular location. So that was one thing I was thinking about when I looked at it, but I really didn't know much about compressor stations or natural gas or gas transmission or anything like that. And so it's been a 4-year process to become very, very literate in all of the terms and what goes on with this kind of transportation, that kind of thing. So I looked at it and I looked at this property and I said, there's no way. There's just no way they can put this kind of explosive, toxic facility on this tiny, tiny piece of land next to a park. I mean, we're standing in a park that people use. They walk their kids and their dogs and that kind of thing. And I said, you know what? The basin is over-industrialized. There are too many toxins. It's too polluted. This just isn't right. It's not fair. It's not right. And also, being educated in the world of climate change prior to that, and being an environmentalist, it's just not the way for us to be going in terms of transporting more fossil fuel and using fossil fuel. We have to stop. We really, really have to stop. And so that's how I got started with it. And it kind of just blew up from there. I really didn't have any idea what I was getting myself into. And our environmental researcher, Mike Lang, he's with the East Braintree Civic Association. And this is something Mike has been doing for about 45 years. And he came to one of the meetings that Spectra had, and that's how we found him. And he and I sat down for coffee, and he said, do you have any idea what you're getting yourself into? And I said, no. He said, you're about to give up 10 years of your life. And it's been 4, and we really hope that 10 is a non-starter, because within a very short period of time, these fossil fuels are going to be unusable. No one is going to want to use them. And so building the infrastructure and doing this kind of destruction and destroying neighborhoods, it just can't be done. And so how do you keep going for 4 years? We have been fantastically lucky, some would say blessed, to have a group of people that have latched on to this whole fight, educated people or people who are just passionate about what they do. And they have kept it going without the help of our 15-member board. So the Fore River Residents now has a 15-member board, and we have, well, our email list is over 1,500 people. And these are people that maybe the only thing they do is have a sign in their yard, but that's just fine, because we know when we have to call on them, they're going to come. And they've remained engaged, and they have continued to fight alongside us. It's the only way that it can be done, is to have that kind of support.
So what other sort of experience in activism did you have before you launched into this whole thing?
So I've actually been an activist probably since I was about 15 years old. My first bit of activism was at a rally for pro-choice for women. And as I said, when I was 15 years old, that's quite some time ago now. And that started it, and I've always been politically active. And so my activism for the past probably about 20 years has been in the realm of politics more than anything. But environmentalism comes into that because it touches everybody. Everybody has to breathe the air. Everyone has to drink the water. And so the politics of it is that we have to get our government to do the right thing. The agencies and the elected officials have to start looking at, listen, you've got one Earth and there's no planet B. So if you're not going to fix it, then we're basically all going down in flames together. So I think it's a responsibility, my responsibility anyway, to speak up and say, we can't keep continuing this. We have to save our planet. We have to save our shared home.